My sister decided Thanksgiving was the perfect time for a culinary debut, complete with craft glitter and a jiggling turkey-shaped gelatin centerpiece. Now, she's threatening to go famous with her flop, and says we'll regret not appreciating her art. Posted by u/SocietyTiny784. Every year, our family has a big Thanksgiving dinner, and we all typically bring a dish or two. My sister, who's a lovely person in every other way, insists on cooking something homemade every time. The issue? She's not a great cook. And I don't mean just not great. I mean she has somehow managed to turn classic dishes into borderline inedible creations. For context, last Thanksgiving, she showed up with her special recipe stuffing that was over-seasoned with random spices like cinnamon and cardamom. It was dry, and the flavors were confusing and totally off for stuffing. Only one person took a small bite, and the rest went untouched. Another year, she brought a green bean casserole with some kind of strange, chewy texture. She later admitted she had used coconut milk and almond flour to experiment. No one wanted seconds of that, either. This year, I'm hosting Thanksgiving. Since I'm responsible for putting it all together, I wanted to keep the menu consistent so people could enjoy a cohesive meal. I thought I'd avoid drama by asking her to bring non-food items instead, like wine, soda, or even flowers. I explained to her, very kindly, I thought, that I just wanted to make things easy and streamlined, and I'd handle the main dishes. But she didn't take it well. She got offended and told me I was being controlling and shutting her out of the family gathering. She accused me of making her feel inadequate and said Thanksgiving is about everyone contributing, not me deciding what's acceptable. I told her that everyone appreciates her effort but that she could contribute in other ways and still be part of it. She doubled down and said she's bringing her famous green bean casserole whether I like it or not. Now, my mom and a couple of other family members have chimed in, saying I should just let her bring whatever she wants because it's Thanksgiving and it's the thought that counts. They're acting like I'm committing some huge offense by wanting the food to be enjoyable for everyone and not have random experimental dishes that no one will eat. But I feel like I'm just trying to keep the meal enjoyable and, frankly, edible. I don't think it's wrong to want guests to actually enjoy the food, especially since I'm putting in a lot of effort to host. Am I really being unreasonable here? Am I the jerk? Relevant comments. Commenter 1, Uda. It's one dish that everybody knows is bad and won't eat. Why is it a big deal? Up. I get where you're coming from, but it's not just one dish. It's every year, and every year she brings multiple dishes with strange combinations that no one eats. It ends up feeling awkward because she keeps pushing people to try her food, and you're stuck pretending it's not that bad or trying to avoid it altogether. It also feels like a waste of time, effort, and money, especially since it's supposed to be a big family meal where we enjoy the food together. I just want people to actually look forward to the meal, not feel obligated to pretend they're enjoying her experiments. I didn't think it'd be a big deal to ask her to bring something else, it's not like I'm uninviting her. But maybe I could have handled it differently. Commenter 2. I'm just super curious about what other things she's made. If you're willing to expand on a few more, I want to know how bad we're talking here. Up. Oh, buckle up, because there's a list. Here are some highlights from past family gatherings. Thanksgiving 2019, she made a spicy cranberry sauce that had whole chunks of jalapeno in it. She insisted it was elevating the flavor profile, but it just made people's mouths burn while eating turkey. We tried pairing it with other stuff on the plate, but it was a no-go. Christmas 2020, she brought a fusion mac and cheese with wasabi and horseradish mixed in. Let's just say it was a very unexpected flavor to experience in a traditionally creamy, comforting dish. There were coughs and watery eyes at the table that night. Easter 2021, she made a carrot salad with shredded carrots, raisins, and sardines. She claimed it was based on some Mediterranean recipe, but I'm pretty sure no Mediterranean grandma would approve. Last Thanksgiving, this was the infamous cinnamon cardamom stuffing. She wanted it to be warm and aromatic, but it ended up tasting like a holiday candle. The texture was also super dry, and even though she noticed no one was touching it, she blamed it on us not appreciating new flavors. Family barbecue this past summer, she made a barbecue tofu dish with a strange vinegar peanut butter sauce. I don't know what cuisine inspired that, but it didn't belong anywhere near a grill. People tried to be polite, but most of it ended up going home with her. So, yeah. This isn't just me being picky. She's made some real adventures out of classic dishes, and I'm genuinely nervous about her Thanksgiving trio experience. Commenter 3. Let her bring it. Maybe she's been practicing, and it's good. If not, maybe she'll get the hint. Up. I see what you're saying, but honestly, she's been practicing for years, and it hasn't improved. If anything, she's getting more experimental and doubling down on weird flavors and substitutions. I don't think she'll take the hint. She's pretty proud of her cooking and genuinely seems to think we're just not appreciating her creativity. If I thought it would lead to her realizing it's not working, I'd let it go. But instead, she just gets upset if people don't eat it, and it becomes this whole thing. I'm just trying to keep things simple and enjoyable for everyone without the awkwardness. Maybe there's a middle ground I'm missing? Commenter 4. A soft Uda. Just let her bring what she wants. It's not hurting you. You don't have to eat it. It might even be fun to pretend it's the best thing ever and throw some away when she isn't looking to make her feel good. It could be part of the traditional holiday experience. OP. I get that, and maybe I am overthinking it. It just feels like a small battle I'd rather not have every year, especially when I'm hosting and trying to make sure everyone genuinely enjoys the meal. I can definitely go with a smile and not approach for the sake of family peace, but it does feel a little exhausting to pretend every time. I guess I just don't want to encourage her to think everyone actually loves it, especially when it's clearly not working. But you're right, it's just food, and maybe I should focus more on making her feel included than on the menu being perfect. I'll try to keep this in mind and relax about it. Update 1, 1 day later. Well, things have escalated quickly. Thanks to everyone who offered advice, I tried to compromise, but it's already turning into a whole thing, and Thanksgiving is still a few weeks away. After our last conversation, my sister was being pretty secretive about what she planned to make, so I reached out to my mom, hoping she could help smooth things over. Instead, she got defensive, saying I'm overthinking and that it's just one dish. I told her I wasn't sure it was just one dish anymore, especially after hearing about my sister's grocery haul, which reportedly included canned oysters and edible glitter. Then my mom let it slip that my sister has been hard at work on some creative menu she's planning as her Thanksgiving surprise. Apparently, she's been sharing details in the family group chat, which I wasn't included in, by the way, and saying I'm being controlling while she's trying to expand everyone's palate with something truly unique. To top it off, my cousin sent me a screenshot from the chat where my sister revealed she's bringing not one but 3 dishes this year. She's calling them her Thanksgiving trio experience, complete with personalized place settings and little menu cards she's designing. I'm officially panicking because I have no idea what these dishes are, and based on her past creations, they're not going to be remotely traditional. At this point, half the family thinks I'm overreacting, while the other half is texting me things like, is she seriously bringing glittered sweet potatoes? I feel stuck. If I try to control it any further, I'll be the bad guy, but if I don't, Thanksgiving might turn into a tasting event for my sister's avant-garde cooking. So yeah, Thanksgiving is weeks away, and it's already become a family spectacle. I don't know whether to brace myself or just preemptively order pizza. Relevant comments. Op when told to let the sister take charge of the meal. Haha, I have to admit, that idea is very tempting. Letting her take the spotlight with her Thanksgiving trio experience while I sit back and sip a glass of wine sounds like one way to make a memorable holiday, especially if everyone gets to see exactly what I was trying to save them from. It would be kind of poetic to just lean into the chaos and let her creations be the star of the show, for better or worse. I have a feeling it would definitely be a Thanksgiving to remember, even if I'd have to brace myself for the family reactions. It's like a mix of malicious compliance and hands-off hosting, and I kind of love the idea of just throwing in some edible arrangements, a ton of drinks, and calling it a day. And yeah, if it all goes sideways, I'll have plenty of remember that one Thanksgiving stories to tell in the future. Thanks for the laugh and the wild suggestion. This might just be a holiday fantasy, but it's definitely a fun one to think about. Commenter 1. Honestly, I think you should just let her do this. It can be a new family tradition. Your sister brings something weird and inedible. You all ignore it and poke fun at her terrible cooking later. Is this really something you want to create drama over? Op. You're right, maybe I've been looking at this all wrong. Letting her bring her unique dishes could actually become a funny little tradition if we let it. I mean, every family has its quirks, and maybe this is just one of ours. Instead of stressing about it, I could just embrace it and let her dishes be part of the Thanksgiving lore we joke about later. It's definitely not worth creating unnecessary drama, and if we all just go with it, I bet it'll be less awkward and maybe even entertaining in its own way. Thanks for the reminder to roll with it and not take it so seriously. Commenter 2, ooh, please update us after Thanksgiving. I can't wait to hear about her culinary experiments. Op. Haha, don't worry, I'll definitely keep you all posted. I'm honestly half curious and half terrified to see what she ends up bringing. If past holidays are any indicator, we might be in for some very creative dishes, and I have a feeling the family reactions alone could make for quite the story. So, stay tuned. If anything wild goes down, I'll be back with all the juicy details after Thanksgiving. Fingers crossed for a low-drama meal. But let's be real, I'm probably not that lucky. Update 2, 10 days later. Thanksgiving is now just a little over 2 weeks away, and somehow, things have escalated even further than I thought possible. I assumed my sister's Thanksgiving trio experience would be the peak of the drama. Turns out, I was very wrong. Since my last update, my sister has gone all in on making her dishes the main attraction. She's been dropping hints in the family group chat, which I'm still not included in, but shout out to my cousin for the screenshots, about how this Thanksgiving will be one to remember and referring to it as her Thanksgiving debut. Apparently, she's calling herself the Thanksgiving head chef and has been hinting at some kind of culinary surprise centerpiece that will transform the whole experience. From what I can piece together, she's planning a main statement dish in addition to her original 3 sides. If her past creations are anything to go by, I'm picturing something truly bizarre, but on a much larger scale. The thought of what she considers a centerpiece is genuinely terrifying. To make matters even weirder, my mom privately texted me and suggested that I step back this year and let my sister shine because she's so excited about her contributions. My mom thinks giving her this moment will make her happy and help her get it out of her system. She even hinted that I should focus on decorations and drinks instead of the main dishes, which feels like a not-so-subtle way of handing hosting duties to my sister without actually saying it. So now I'm left with a choice. Go along with my mom's plan and essentially let my sister hijack Thanksgiving, or stand my ground and risk a full-on family showdown. All I wanted was a nice Thanksgiving with dishes everyone would enjoy, but now it feels like I'm stuck between letting the circus unfold or preparing for serious drama. Part of me is tempted to sit back and let the chaos happen, maybe even enjoy watching her creations take center stage, but I'm still worried about subjecting everyone to whatever artistic statement she has planned. Thanksgiving isn't even here yet, and it already feels like a complete spectacle. Relevant comments. Commenter 1. I cannot figure out why you still haven't canceled hosting. If she wants to take over, let her do so in her own space. Why would you go through all this trouble to host your family when your sister is actively planning sabotage? I would have already bowed out. Honestly, I'm starting to feel the same way. At first, I thought I could manage the situation by setting boundaries, but it's clear my sister is determined to turn Thanksgiving into her personal stage, no matter what I do. At this point, it's not even about the food, it's about the sheer amount of effort I'm putting in just to have it overshadowed by her artistic vision. Bowing out does sound tempting, and I'm seriously considering it. Letting her host would give her the spotlight she clearly wants, and I wouldn't have to deal with the stress of balancing everyone's feelings. I guess I've been holding out because I love hosting and didn't want to let her take that away from me. But maybe it's time to throw in the towel and let her take the reins. In her own house. Thanks for giving me something to think about. Commenter 2. Just let her do it and don't cook a damn thing. Oh. And eat before anyone shows up. Haha, that would be one way to handle it, right? Just let her have her Thanksgiving head chef moment and show up with a full stomach, no stress, and zero cooking on my part. I'm honestly so tempted to go this route. If she wants the spotlight that badly, I might as well let her handle everything and watch the chaos unfold from the sidelines. It might even be satisfying to see her realize how much goes into hosting, especially if her creations don't quite go over as she hopes. Thanks for the idea. This might just be the perfect hands-off Thanksgiving. Update 3, 12 days later. Here we are, the day before Thanksgiving, and things have continued to spiral. I decided to let my sister move forward with her trio experience, since pushing back more would only make things worse. I thought we had a plan, she'd bring her dishes, and I'd make sure there were plenty of other options to keep the peace. This morning, my mom let me know that my sister is now adding a surprise dish to her contributions. She's been very secretive about what it is, which has everyone nervous after her past attempts. My mom thinks it's sweet that my sister is putting in so much effort, but a few other family members are not as optimistic. My cousin texted me privately, asking if I had backup food ready, and my dad casually mentioned bringing extra rolls, just in case. At this point, I've decided to stick with the plan and let her have her moment. I'll still have a few traditional dishes on hand, so no one goes hungry. Tomorrow will probably be chaotic, but it should at least make for a memorable holiday. Wish me luck. I'll update after Thanksgiving if anything noteworthy happens. Update 4, 2 days later. Thanksgiving dinner is officially over, and I genuinely don't know where to start. I feel like I just lived through a fever dream of culinary chaos and family drama, and I need a moment to breathe before I can even process everything. My cousin and I are heading out for drinks to dissect all of it because, honestly, what just happened deserves its own Netflix special. I'll post photos later when I get home, but for now, let me try to give you the rundown. My sister showed up earlier than expected, which I should have seen coming. She came in like a storm, carrying not just her 3 dishes but also this giant platter wrapped in foil, which she was clearly trying to make a big deal about. She immediately started rearranging the table, moving my dishes to the side so hers could take center stage. She even brought her own table runner and candles, saying something about setting the mood for a creative dining experience. I decided not to fight her on it because, at this point, I just wanted to get through the night without a blow-up. Her trio experience was, well, everything I feared and more. She started with a glittery sweet potato mash that somehow managed to taste like a mix of sugar and sand. The glitter wasn't even edible glitter, it was craft glitter, which I didn't realize until one of the kids said, "This is crunchy," and I looked closer. Then there was the cranberry and oyster relish. Yes, oysters and cranberries. It looked like someone had spilled jam into clam chowder, and the smell alone was enough to make me lose my appetite. Finally, she brought a pumpkin curry casserole that had raisins in it for some reason, and this weird fishy smell that clung to the air for way too long. The pièce de résistance was her surprise centerpiece dish, which turned out to be a turkey gelatin mold. Yes, she took ground turkey, mixed it with some kind of broth and seasonings, and turned it into a wobbly, translucent mold shaped like a turkey. She even garnished it with parsley and cherry tomatoes to make it festive. I wish I were kidding. The entire table went silent when she unveiled it, except for my cousin, who immediately started coughing to cover up what I'm pretty sure was a laugh. Things hit their peak when my mom, who has been defending her this entire time, took one bite of the gelatin mold and just froze. She didn't say anything, but you could see the regret on her face. My sister, noticing the lack of enthusiasm, decided to go on this long speech about how Thanksgiving food is too boring and how she's trying to challenge our palates. She even called my ham and mashed potatoes uninspired, which was rich coming from someone serving glitter sand potatoes. The breaking point came when my aunt, who's usually the peacekeeper, tried the gelatin mold and actually gagged. She tried to be polite about it, but my sister saw her reaction and completely lost it. She started yelling about how nobody in the family supports her and how we're all stuck in the past with our unoriginal food. She even accused me of sabotaging her dishes by not hyping them up enough to everyone. At this point, half the table was trying not to laugh, and the other half was just staring at their plates, probably wondering how we got here. My sister ended up storming out of the house, but not before saying something along the lines of, "You'll regret not appreciating my vision when I'm famous." She left most of her food behind, which my cousin and I quietly threw out after dinner. The rest of the night actually turned out pretty nice once the tension was gone. My dad's emergency ham was a lifesaver, and everyone agreed that next year, we're either going to a restaurant or just skipping Thanksgiving altogether. So now I'm sitting here wondering how this even became my life. I'll post photos later because you all need to see the turkey gelatin mold to believe it, but for now, I'm off to grab a drink, or 3, with my cousin to laugh and cry over everything that went down. This Thanksgiving was truly something else, and I don't know whether to feel relieved it's over or brace myself for whatever fresh chaos my sister has planned for next year. Stay tuned for photos, it's going to be worth it.